Hi guys, welcome back. Thank you so much for being here. So greatly appreciate it. Truly is. Before we get started, let me give you my usual disclaimer that this video is for educational purposes only. Please do not take what I say as fact. Please always do your own research and come to your own conclusions. Next, if you have not liked, subscribed, or commented yet, please consider doing so. It really helps me out. I really appreciate it. Okay, this is True Crime at Christmas Time, Day 6. The Dayton, Ohio Christmas killing spree. These just get progressively worse. They're just getting progressively worse as I find them and research them, and it's mind-boggling. Okay. This is 16-year-old Laura Taylor. This is Laura's 19-year-old boyfriend, Marvelous Keene. This is 16-year-old Heather Matthews. And this is 20-year-old DeMarcus Smith. In December of 1992, these four runaways would dub themselves the Downtown Posse, as they were going on a 72-hour spree that would leave 6 people dead and 2 more injured, with the motive being just for fun because they wanted some drama in their lives. The spree started as petty robberies. The crew stole a plaid coat, a pair of sneakers, and $44, but it very quickly escalated to shock, fear, terror, and heartache of unimaginable proportions. December 24th, 1992. Laura Taylor and her boyfriend, who will be dubbed Unmarvelous Keene for the remainder of this video because there's absolutely nothing marvelous about him, decide to rob a 34-year-old man named Joseph Wilkerson. Laura and Unmarvelous recruit 20-year-old Heather Matthews, who has just been released from prison. They call up Joseph Wilkerson and promise him an orgy for money. Joseph Wayne Wilkerson was an employee for General Motors. He was born on July 3rd, 1958, to parents Floyd and Christine Wilkerson. He has 2 brothers, James and Bill, and he also has 3 sisters, Loretta, Lisa, and Deborah. The trio went into the home of Wilkerson, tied him to the headboard in his bedroom with electrical cords, and then they scoured the house for valuables. During this, they found a .32 caliber Derringer that Unmarvelous used to shoot him, Joseph Wilkerson, in the chest, and a .25 caliber weapon that Laura Taylor used to him once in the head. The 3 would then spend the next several days partying in the house while he laid there dead in the bed. They would also steal his car to go and hunt for more victims. A few hours after the death of Joseph Wilkerson, the 3 added the boyfriend of Heather Matthews, 17-year-old DeMarcus Smith, to their crew of losers. They would spot 18-year-old senior Danita Gillette talking on a payphone. Danita was a senior at Patterson Cooperative High School. She was born on July 6, 1974, to parents Peter and Helen Gillette. She has 3 sisters, Rhonda, Yolanda, and Jackie. She was also the mother to a little baby girl that she named Dominique. Police found Danita on the ground outside the telephone booth. She had been 5 times in the chest, legs, and hands, and detectives say that the hands were more indicative of defensive wounds. She had no jacket or sneakers on, and that's because the Downtown Posse stole them. Police identified her by her school books. They also found aluminum-cased ammunition called Blazer. These guns can kill, but they're not typically used for that. They're typically used for target practice, so that definitely stuck out to investigators. It would later come out that while Danita was on the phone, they walked up to her, said, "Merry Christmas, bitch," and began unloading on her. Before they returned to Joseph Wilkerson's house for the night, they attempted to kill Heather Matthews' ex-boyfriend Jeffrey Wright. They him 4 times in the legs, but thankfully he was able to make it to a neighbor's house and survive. This is crazy. December 25th, 1992. 16-year-old Laura Taylor coaxes her ex-boyfriend, 19-year-old Richmond Maddox, out of his home, and the two get in his car together. Traveling behind them were Keene, Smith, and Matthews. Ricky Maddox was born on December 27, 1972, to parents Eugene and Marceline Maddox. He had 2 sisters, Yolanda and Tina, and he also had one brother, Eugene Maddox Jr. While in the car, Laura Matthews Maddox in the head and then jumps out of the moving vehicle. Witnesses saw this, which is how they know this. The car continued until it hit a tree. Maddox was dead, and police were able to identify him from his driver's license. December 26, 1992. 34-year-old mother of 3, Sarah Abraham, was working the register in her family's short-stop mini market on the west side of Dayton, Ohio. 71-year-old Jimmy Thompson was also working that night. He told police that a black female, Laura Taylor, walked into the store, purchased some items. He said that she was a nickel short, so he gave her the 5 cents, finished the transaction, and she walked out. He says that immediately after this, 2 black males, Unmarvelous Keene and DeMarcus Smith, came into the store with demanding money. Jimmy Thompson tells police that Sarah handed over all the money that she had, no questions asked, and even though she gave them everything they wanted, the 2 began drinking. Sarah Abraham was in the face, and a customer in the store at the time, Jones Pettis, was also. The bullets missed 71-year-old Jimmy, but he laid on the floor and pretended to be dead. Sarah was hospitalized in critical condition, but would end up passing away from her injuries. After they were done at the convenience store, they began talking about which friends of theirs should be to prevent them from talking. That's when they decided to Laura Taylor's 16-year-old friend, Wendy Cottrell, and Wendy's 18-year-old boyfriend, Marvin Washington. They picked up the couple and went to buy some beer and wine. Once they got back in the car, Matthews and Keene said that they have to pee, so they drive to a gravel storage area. After the car stops, Keene and Smith pull out their and force the couple to walk with them. Unmarvelous Keene stuck the muzzle in Wendy's mouth and shot. He then shot her again in the heart and abdomen. It's twisted. This is so twisted. Her boyfriend Marvin was at nearly the same exact time by DeMarcus Smith. December 26th at 1:40 p.m., a police sergeant spots a black Dodge Shadow that looks suspicious. He pulls it over and he arrests all 4 people in the car, along with confiscating several weapons. After running the license plate, they find out that the car belongs to Wilkerson. When they go to his home, they find his. Investigators working the case have made statements such as, quote, "They enjoyed it. They lived it. It made them somebody." End quote. Quote, "They were like a shark. Once they tasted blood, they couldn't stop." End quote. And Detective Wade Lawson said of Laura Taylor, quote, "I don't think I've ever met what I would call a hardened person at 16 years old. a cold-hearted girl. She was so hard. She didn't even go to the restroom or ask to go to the restroom. She urinated in the interview room chair she was sitting in. I hope I never run into another person like her. End quote. I agree. I hope you don't either. I hope none of us do. Marvelous Keene was executed by lethal injection at the Southern Ohio Correctional Facility in Lucasville on July 21st, 2009. Laura Taylor is serving life at Ohio Reformatory for Women in Marysville. DeMarcus Smith is serving life at the Mansfield Correctional Institute. And Heather Matthews is serving a life sentence at the Ohio Reformatory for Women in Marysville. Okay, guys, if you're still here, thank you. I appreciate you so very much. If you have any suggestions, email me, harding527@yahoo.com. If you haven't liked, subscribed, or commented yet, please consider doing so. And until next time, stay safe out there.